Well, there's the old lake bottom. And right over there on that little dam area is where a couple friends were sitting. That's where we started fishing. And a couple friends, they were gonna fish there, do some tight lining in this lake and this lake from that dam. And me and my buddies, which was, I think there's 4 or 5 of us, we walked down here and said we're gonna walk and fish on this side of the lake. So we all walked over here. And you go down this way. Now on the left here, you got this little creek, and then the woods. I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to make it back to the exact spots right around. It's right past this big chunk of brush. But yeah, this used to be a real nice, healthy lake. Now it's a swamp, overgrown lake, or upside down, or overturned. What do they call that? A lake that turned over on itself. Now here's the creek right here. As you can see, this creek goes right behind the lake, right here. And there's a trail here, but it's pretty thick. No, we can't get through there. But this little road path here used to go all the way down. So yeah, it was after midnight, and me and my buddies, we were all, you know, had our lines in. We started fishing. We could see our friends across the lake. They had their lines in, they were fishing. And pretty much out of nowhere, we hear, and I say a monster because it's the only way I can describe it. A monster directly behind us, across this little creek, in these woods, mad as hell. And I mean screaming, breaking branches, splashing in the water. I mean, it was doing everything to get us out of there. And it worked, because we looked at each other and said, oh, crap. And we reeled our stuff in, and we got our stuff, and we walked as fast as we could down this path to get out of here. By the time we got over here where our buddies were fishing on the other side of the lake, they were reeling their stuff in and packing up. And we asked them, you know, did you hear that? And they're like, yeah, that's why we're packing up. We're out of here. So basically, this monster ran off 7 people. 6 or 7 people. And I've come back here many times, day and night. But the noise we heard, similar to a cat, like a wild cat in the woods. You know, they make sounds like a baby crying, a woman screaming, and a lion all at the same time. Well, that's what we heard, except it was ginormous. So what could it have been? Big black panther? Not sure why a big black panther would be trying to run us out of here. Interdimensional Sasquatch? I don't know. I've had 30-something years to think about it. And, yeah, we don't know what it was. So, you know, when people tell me crazy stories, it's kind of hard to dismiss what they're saying, because I've had some crazy, unexplainable stuff happen to me. You just got to remember, 99% of what you see on TV and the internet is baloney. Just keep that in mind. And most of the time, ghostly experiences or paranormal experiences are usually a very personal thing that happens to someone when they're least expecting it, and when they're alone, and it becomes their own personal experience. And if they care to tell it to someone or not, You know, some people keep stuff like that to themselves because they don't want to be labeled as a nut job. But at the same time, you got a lot of nut jobs out there claiming to talk to the dead, and a lot of stories. Let's put it that way. Now here's a little dam I was talking about that's in between the lakes. My buddies were sitting right here on this dam, fishing both sides, fishing this lake, which is now a swamp, cattails, and this lake. And yeah, they heard it from over here. Now if you can see over there the tree line, there's a trail that goes just right around that little bend there is where we were sitting when this monster, I like to say interdimensional monster, because this thing was so big and gnarly, we didn't see it. We didn't have to see it to be scared and to get run off, because we heard it plain as day. I mean, it was right behind us. And we didn't hear nothing walking up, no footsteps walking up. It was just a spontaneous scream, crash, splash. Terrifying, to say the least. I don't know if I've ever been that scared since then. And that was 30-something years ago. And I'm not the only one that has had the same experience. I have a couple friends that have run into the same thing down here. And one night, I was down here a couple years after that happened, about 10 years after that first main incident happened. I was down here with a buddy, and we heard something similar behind us in the woods over here behind this lake, right over in that area. And we were so terrified we just looked at each other and laughed. We couldn't believe what we were hearing. And we did the same thing. We got up and left. It's just insane. It's just crazy. Speaking of discs, my buddy swears he's seen a UFO fly over this place when he was down here. And he's seen it plain as day. Can describe everything about it, the noise, the size, the color, everything. And he says it zoomed by, and then shortly after, 2 jets zoomed by over it. Hope the camera, you like the camera work? I just kind of fling the camera everywhere. So yeah, there's some flying discs down here. That's for sure. Let's go ahead and walk this trail around. So I just wanted to tell you that story. Now I know I've told that story before about the monster that ran us out of here at one of the meetings last year. But man, and then, you know, some things are made up, some things aren't. But this monster that ran us out of here, there ain't nothing made up about it. I'll always let you know if I'm being truthful with you. Unlike the other paranormal investigators that continuously lie. Man, they lie like a rug. But it's entertainment. Believe what you want. Someone in the group said, if you don't believe in mediums, why do you have a paranormal group? You ever hear Sylvia Brown? Okay. End of story. True paranormal investigators do not rely on mediums and psychics for anything. But it can be entertaining and fun, you know, but we're real paranormal investigators, so we don't go for that kind of stuff. All mediums do is they just make stuff up, you know. And yet so many people believe every word they say. You know, it's amazing. Let's go ahead and go out this way. And then we're going to end the video. Yeah, I'm breathing heavy. It's not too hot out here, but of course I'm wearing thick black jeans and a black shirt. I think it's like 75 degrees out here this morning. Let's go over this hill here. Let me know if you see any big feet. Sasquatch. swamp ape, yeti, whatever. Let me know if you see anything on the film, on the camera. I might miss it. Because we're definitely doing some investigating here today. I've been walking around with my AM, FM. No, not AM, FM. UHF, VHF scanner. Let's see if we can get something through there. I did the ball experiment earlier. Got a little video of that. Had the dial music box out earlier. Trying to see if we can get some kind of communication going. Of course, we don't talk to ghosts. And we don't ask ghosts a bunch of questions or beg ghosts to communicate. You see these other paranormal people begging these ghosts. I got this piece of equipment right here. You know, if you want to contact through my ghost hunting equipment, go ahead, feel free to come through on the screen or audio, you know. It's ridiculous. You know, you shouldn't have to beg a ghost to communicate with you. Just get your tools out, walk and scan the area. And a lot of times, less is more when you're dealing with paranormal and your equipment. Less is more. You come down here with a bunch of equipment and, you know, I don't know. Kind of takes the fun out of it. And you don't need expensive, fancy equipment. Cell phones, digital cameras can be your best ghost hunting equipment. And you gotta try different stuff, because in this field, you don't know what's gonna happen, what's gonna work, what they're gonna wanna go through to communicate if that's gonna happen. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with using handheld TVs for UHF, VHF scanning. You can also use handheld radios to scan AM, FM frequencies. And of course, they got spirit boxes that record AM in reverse for some reason. That's supposed to... There's all kinds of gadgets you can use. You've got the dowsing rods, of course. Jimmy Schmidt's specialty. It's good for finding the energy source or porthole. You see some of these paranormal people using dowsing rods to talk with ghosts. You know, cross them for a yes and spread the dowsing rods for a no. Then they ask all these questions, you know, whatever. Believe what you want. But we do like using dowsing rods to find possible energy and interdimensional portholes. You never know. You never know. Okay, we're coming back around. Okay, we'll cross over there. That's where the main hall was. Hey, thanks for joining me. Remember, we got the big meeting coming up. Southside Park. Bring your coat hangers, handheld TVs, radios, spirit boxes, whatever. Leave your mediums at home. Because we don't need the interference, the nonsense. That's just my belief. But you can believe whatever you want. All right, y'all, we're out of here. Haunted Bellwell.